In the midst of a world that constantly challenges us to find validation, we often forget something fundamental: the silent and powerful presence of genuine love that God has for us. It's possible that today you're wondering if the love you're looking for is really the one that will fill your heart completely. Perhaps you have felt misunderstood or even neglected by those you wanted most in your life. But today, let's reflect together on true love and how it manifests in subtle yet powerful ways in our daily journey. When we surrender to God's plans for our lives, it is common for a sign to appear on the horizon, something that shows us that someone's love is more present in our lives than it seems at first glance. This sign is not something obvious or exaggerated. It is often disguised as small gestures, attitudes that show concern and affection, and often it comes from where we least expect it. It can be a word of encouragement at the exact moment we need it most, or a look of understanding when we feel alone. Sometimes the love we seek is already around us, but our expectations blind us to it. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows exactly what we need. He knows every desire of our heart, and it is He who guides us towards the people and moments that truly make a difference in our lives. Often, what appears to us as a lack of affection or presence is just God's way of showing us that we are being prepared for something greater, something that aligns with His will for us. And in this process of waiting, He is taking care of us, adjusting our perceptions, and teaching us to recognize what really matters. True love does not require grand displays. It manifests itself in daily care, in silent patience, in the constant presence that, even in silence, gives us security. It's a love that manifests itself in small acts of care, like the person who remembers you even in the simplest moments, an unexpected message, a memory, an attitude that shows that despite appearances, the other person is thinking about you. God's love is like this too. He is always present even when we don't see or feel it immediately. It works behind the scenes in our lives, preparing the hearts of those around us so that, at the right moment, they surprise us with gestures of affection that we might never have imagined receiving. This is a clear sign that yes, that person thinks about you much more than they let on. Sometimes all it takes is a small gesture for that love to reveal itself. If you feel like you're in a relationship where there is no reciprocity, where actions don't keep up with words, remember that God is working within you. He is molding your character, and most importantly, He is preparing your heart to understand the true value of love. This process of self-knowledge is fundamental so that we can give ourselves the value we deserve without waiting for others to complete what is missing within us. God doesn't want you to feel needy or empty because you are already complete in Him. The lack of demonstration sometimes is an invitation to strengthen yourself in your own identity, to see yourself as God sees you, valuable, worthy of respect, and worthy of a love that does not require you to change who you are, but that accepts you as you are. It's interesting to see how we often get caught up in the idea that love needs to be something explicit, something that is demonstrated frequently, with grand gestures and warm words. But the true essence of love is not how much it is expressed, but how deeply it is sustained. There is a level of love that goes beyond what the eyes can see. It is a love that manifests itself silently but firmly, and that makes us realize that it is always there, even when there are no declarations. This is the love that is not measured by what is said, but by what is done in a subtle way, in an understanding look, in silent care, and above all, in patience. When you realize that someone thinks about you more than they show, it's a sign that they have a silent care, a love that goes beyond the superficial. This type of love is not shown off, but is proven in everyday actions, in moments when you least expect it. The relationship God plans for you is not one where you need to beg for love, or where everything needs to be said and shown every moment. The relationship He desires for you is based on mutual trust, respect, and the ability to be present without needing to be constantly affirmed. The beauty of the love that God manifests in our lives is precisely in this silence. The stillness of a genuine relationship is not the absence of affection, but the trust that you are both caring for each other, even when words are rare. This doesn't mean that true love doesn't need to be expressed, but rather that it finds its value in consistency and constant presence, not the need for continual approval. And often, the woman who experiences this type of love needs to learn to value this silence, understanding that, within it, there is a depth that words cannot reach. She does not seek to fill the empty spaces with empty promises or superficial declarations of love, but with the certainty that the love she has is solid, stable, and rooted in something stronger than momentary gestures. In relationships, especially in the context of the psychology of love, it is essential that we understand that true love requires space for the other person to find themselves too. Often, insecurity leads us to want to demonstrate our need for affection, our lack of attention, as if this were a reflection of the depth of love. But in fact, the true depth of love is capable of understanding the other's space and silence, respecting their limits and, above all, supporting their journey of self-knowledge. The most insecure people are often those who most need external validation, but the truest love arises when both parties are ready to support each other and walk together, respecting individuality instead of seeking to complete each other's weaknesses. Have you ever stopped to reflect on what this type of love represents in your life? Maybe you're wondering if this is real, if it's possible that someone could think of you more than they let on, especially in a world where everything is so immediate and superficial. I invite you to reflect on this journey of deep love. Instead of demanding constant displays of affection, accept moments of calm as signs that true love builds silently and gradually. Love doesn't rush. It aligns with moments of peace and understanding, not the demands of needy love. And when you begin to realize that within that stillness there is a presence far deeper than any verbal expression could demonstrate, you begin to understand the true meaning of being loved. If you've made it this far, I want to invite you to be part of our community. It's not about subscribing because you watched just another video, but because, in some way, something that was said here touched your heart. I want to hear your story. Share in the comments what this video awakened in you. If you have already lived or are living in a relationship where silence has also been a sign of love, let's really connect. And if you believe this content can help other people, share it. Your support is what motivates us to continue bringing these videos and prayers that, with God's grace, reach the homes of so many people. God bless your life. Now reflect for a moment. In the midst of all the distractions in the world, in the midst of so many voices that try to convince us of what is right and what is wrong in our relationships, there is a soft call that comes from the deepest part of our being. This calling is not in grand gestures of affection or extravagant words. It comes from silence, from pause, from that space where you find yourself. And in that space, God's presence becomes clear as a reminder that the love He has prepared for you is far beyond what the world tries to impose. True love is not limited to the expectations of others or what we think we should be, but to who we are at our most intimate essence. The woman who lives alone, who chooses her path calmly, is in no way at fault. She is whole, even though the world sees her as incomplete because she is not accompanied. But the truth is that it has already found its completion. It has already been restored through the power of God. Often in relationships, we seek acceptance from the other as a form of validation, as if only the presence of the other can make us feel loved or complete. However, true completeness is only achieved when we allow ourselves to experience the process of self-knowledge, when we are able to love ourselves without depending on other people's approval. This is the turning point in any relationship, the realization that our identity is not tied to the other, but to what God created us to be. When we allow ourselves to walk alone for a while, we are forced to confront our shadows, our fears, our insecurities. But this confrontation, far from weakening us, strengthens us. It is in this space of solitude that we find the strength necessary to truly connect with what is genuine and essential within us. Women who choose this path of knowing themselves and finding themselves alone are not running away from love, but rather preparing themselves for the kind of love that no longer requires sacrifices of themselves. They do not seek a love that diminishes them or makes them feel incomplete, but a love that elevates them and respects them in their entirety. It's important to remember that although we live in a world that preaches the need to find someone, the real question is not whether we are alone, but how we are relating to ourselves. When we are able to love ourselves fully, to recognize the value that God gave us, we no longer need validation from others to feel loved. Love begins within us, and from that, we are able to attract people who see us in the same way, whole, strong, and complete. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. By understanding yourself, by looking within, you begin to realize that others must also connect with you from that same understanding. There is no longer room for relationships that diminish your essence or that require you to constantly sacrifice yourself. True love is the one that respects your journey and walks alongside you, not to save you, but to grow together with you. And if you haven't found that kind of love yet, know that it is waiting for you, but first and foremost, it starts with you. And here's something very special. If you've come this far, have you ever stopped to reflect on what stops you from giving yourself that love first? I want to hear your story in the comments. You may have some fear or trepidation, or perhaps you are in the process of finding your completeness. Don't be afraid to open up. This space is yours, and it is through your interaction that we are able to create this stronger and more welcoming community. If you felt that this reflection touched you in some way, share it with someone who also needs to hear it. And subscribe, so you don't miss any words of support and growth that we prepared with so much care. God bless each one of you. Now that we have reached the end of this reflection, it is important that you remember something essential. True peace and true love do not come from outside, but from within you. Often in our relationships, in our choices, and even in our search for love, we forget that the basis for any healthy bond begins with acceptance of ourselves. God, in His infinite wisdom, teaches us that the first step to loving someone is learning to truly love yourself, to respect yourself, and to recognize yourself as worthy of genuine love. It's not about perfection, but about completeness. And it is precisely when we recognize ourselves as complete that we begin to realize that instead of looking for someone to complete us, we can simply share our life with someone who is also whole and willing to walk alongside us. True love does not diminish us. It elevates us, gives us strength, strengthens us, and above all, frees us. Throughout our lives, many of us experience emotional challenges that teach us that to be prepared for healthy love, we must first be at peace with who we are. This often involves dealing with our own wounds, recognizing the mistakes and successes of the past, and having the courage to move forward with a stronger heart. Loneliness, although often seen with sadness by society, is in fact a precious moment of self-knowledge, of connection with one's own being. It is in this silence that God often finds us, guides us, heals us, and prepares us for the most important relationship of all, the relationship with ourselves. Only from this point can we attract healthy relationships, as we learn to value ourselves and demand without fear what we deserve: respect, reciprocity, and true love. You who are here today listening to these words know what it is like to face the fear of loneliness. You know what it is to feel incomplete, even when surrounded by people. But I want to tell you something very important. There is nothing wrong with being alone. In fact, being alone can be the greatest demonstration of courage and confidence you can have in your life. It means you are not willing to accept less than you deserve. And that, my friend, is a true revolution. The world tries to convince us that happiness lies in being accompanied, in having someone to share every moment with. But true happiness begins within you, in the peace you make with yourself, in the trust you place in God to shape your destiny. And when you understand this, the search for a healthy relationship with someone who has the same level of maturity and emotional understanding becomes a choice and not a necessity. God never wanted us to feel incomplete or lacking in love. On the contrary, He made us complete. And it is the moment we recognize this completeness that we begin to understand the true nature of love. The love He prepared for us is not a love of lack, but of abundance. It is not a love that demands sacrifices of our identity, but that respects us for who we are. When God is before us, He prepares the way, He adjusts the circumstances, and He gives us the strength we need to face any challenge. And if at this moment you have not yet found this type of love, know that it is on its way, because God is already preparing the ground for it to reach you. It is not a hurried love, a love that is demanded, but a love that respects your time, your journey, and that arrives when you are truly ready to receive it. However, until that moment comes, you need to understand that God is doing something within you. He is working on your character, your self-esteem, your perception of yourself. He is molding your heart so that you accept not just anything, but something that is truly worthy of you. A healthy relationship does not require you to lose yourself or diminish yourself. It demands that you be yourself with all your qualities, defects, and imperfections, and that at the same time, you respect others in the same way. This is the kind of relationship God wants for you, one where you can both grow together, but without losing your individuality and your sense of purpose. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is asking to be heard. Maybe you are wondering, can I wait for this love that respects my journey and my essence? And the answer is, yes, you can. Because God knows what you need, and He is preparing your heart for it. Waiting is not a punishment, but a preparation. A preparation so that when true love arrives, you are ready to welcome it with open arms, without fear, without need, and without the need to lose yourself to find something or someone. You will be able to love completely because you already love and respect yourself completely. Therefore, I invite you to reflect on what was said here. The woman who chooses to be alone, who decides to focus on her own growth, is not wasting time. She is preparing herself for a future full of true love, and most importantly, she is building the foundation of a happy, fulfilled life. And if you are on this journey, know that you are not alone. God walks with you, and He goes ahead, preparing all the details of your life. Now, I would like to ask that, if you felt touched by this reflection, share your story in the comments. What has your journey of self-discovery and preparation for a healthy relationship been like? I would love to hear from you. And if you feel this video can help other people, share it with them. It's not just about watching, it's about connecting, being part of a mutually supportive community. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to do so now, so that together we can grow and move towards true love. God bless your life, and may you feel His embrace of peace and wisdom. Leave your super chat or thanks a lot to help our channel continue to grow and take these messages to homes around the world. God bless and keep you, and may you always remember, you are already complete, and the love you need begins within you.